It is another installment of the Please Do Tell podcast with your homegirl Ronnika. So welcome back. I'm so excited, especially today, because it is a very, very, very special day for someone very special in this podcast. And it is, wait for it. Y'all, it's my 40th birthday. Can you get into it? Can you get into it? Okay. Last week, you see, I'm just going right into it because listen, I'm so excited to be here with you because after this weekend, you're going to hear the story time about what happened this weekend because we are in the middle of a polar vortex in the Midwest. And I don't know who ordered it. I don't know who said like, you know what, for Ronika's birthday, we want to throw a little razzle dazzle, a little snow in there and have her stuck for a little bit. But no, I am excited to be spending my 40th birthday with you. Okay, so when you see this, I mean, it'll clearly be after my birthday, but that's okay. We're still going to celebrate good times. Come on. Okay. All right. So I am grateful. There were some times last year in 2023 where the doctor even told me like, I don't know if you're going to make it to 50 if you don't change your lifestyle. So that's a whole nother reason why this celebration of me walking, running, marching into a new decade is so important to me is because I decided to make a whole lifestyle change and feeling so much better because of it. So we're going to get into a few story times. I'm going to get into some birthday celebrations or tributes to myself from other people, which I thought was really, really sweet, even starting from even midnight. I have friends that said I set alarms on my phone. So when it becomes midnight on my side of town, my side of the US, I'm able to say happy birthday to you. So I am grateful for those people in my life that continue to celebrate me. But let me start with my heartbeats. And I know you all have heard me talk about them time and time again. These are the ladies that have seen me through elementary, junior high, and high school. So that's over 25 years of friendship. Not even friendship, it's sisterhood. We are definitely sisters. We show up for one another. One of the Heartbeats fathers actually passed a couple weeks ago, so we were all together in December. But before that even happened, because that was clearly unexpected, is that two of the Heartbeats called me and said, what are you doing for your 40th birthday? Because we know you. We know that you will plan something at the last minute, or you will choose not to celebrate yourself. So my friends that know me and love me, they show up for me. They send me, even Karen sent me a memoji today of her singing, and I had to send one right on back because you know how we do. I have really close friends that have been to, if you know my grandmother, God rest her soul, Betty Jean, she really didn't fool with a whole lot of people. She gonna feed any and everybody. If she gonna feed any and everybody. I'm not even gonna say a 3-course meal. It's gonna be 5-course. I mean, you get a dessert, you get everything. But she wasn't always really receptive of like, oh, let me embrace you and like give you a big hug. Whereas I have some friends that she has really latched on to, and they have those beautiful memories with her. So I am just always overwhelmed with emotions of how God has blessed me with some truly amazing people in my life. So let me get into, y'all, what happened this weekend in Chicago, Illinois. Okay. This story time is all dedicated to really choosing me, celebrating me. I know the last episode was really about stress in the new year and really being aware of that. And I can say this weekend that there were some things that popped up even physically with myself that my friends was like, you don't look okay. You don't, like, do we need to go back to the hotel? Are you okay? Just that awareness I'm so grateful of. So let me start here. So there's 4 heartbeats, and I know you're going to hear about them often. There is also times where you will see them pop up in certain videos or even in audio. They may be even in the background. And 2 of them, which is Demita and Alicia, neither one of them stay in Michigan. Well, really none of the heartbeats. I'm the only heartbeat that stays in Michigan, that lives in Michigan. And 2 of them who live in the South called me on 3-way and said, hey, what are you doing for your birthday? I can remember where I was standing, all of that. I don't know if I was walking back into the house, but they would say, hey, what are you doing? And, me being like grand and just big, I'm like, oh, they said, well, what would be your dream? What would you want to do? I want to go to Ghana. They were like, okay, like really snapped me back into reality. Like, oh no, that's not possible right now for all of us. But on a smaller scale, what do you want to do? And they would say, oh, we were thinking about all being together in Chicago since the 4th heartbeat is in Chicago, living in Chicago. I said, okay, well, I can catch the train and we could just make it a whole weekend. Like, this is going to be just great. And the first thing they thought was, okay, well, we just believe that the weather going to be fine and we just going to all get there. Okay, great. I get on the train. So fast forward, it's Friday. Actually, let me rewind a little bit. Thursday afternoon, one of my closest friends, Terrell, married his bride, Tatiana. So I was there to witness that, which I'm just like, I will never forget your anniversary because this is exactly a week before before my birthday. So I'll never forget it. And so I knew that hanging out with them Thursday night, that I may be a little sluggish Friday morning. And I was, but I was just making sure that my train was going to get out of here on time. And it did. It got on it. I pulled off right on time. I'm riding on the train. I get off and it's all kind of delays because I'm looking at now, the storm has started to come in Friday morning. So I'm looking across the lake because the train actually travels along Lake Michigan. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is getting pretty bad. And then I feel the train stopping. I said, whatever you do, do not reverse this thing. Like, I have friends to meet in Chicago. I have retracing their steps, photos to take. We got to keep this train going. And so we stopped. We were probably stopped for about 10 or 15 minutes. And I'm on the phone with my sister and we're just kind of waiting it out. And I told her, I said, okay, well, I'm probably going to reach the point where the call is going to drop. I'll just let you know when I make it to Chicago. We're pulling in. I get this message because I forgot that I had scheduled an Uber because my best friend who was working from home, she had meetings the same time that I would be arriving into Chicago. So I said, okay, I'll schedule Uber and then I can just Uber to your house. That's fine. As we're approaching the station, the Amtrak station, Union Station, I get these text messages saying like, hey, are you here? Hey, your Uber is arriving. Hey, I'm like, okay, all right. Okay, I put it for the time that I would be arriving into Chicago and not realizing that now we're a little late. So I'm conversing back and forth with the Uber driver. And I said, hey, we haven't even pulled into the station yet. If you want to cancel this ride, that's fine because I understand, because I didn't realize we were going to be running this far behind. So the guy said, oh yeah, you're fine. And the next thing you know, when I pulled into the actual station, it said, you've just been redirected to a new driver. I said, okay, well, the communication. Okay, all right. I get off the train. I'm running with my bags because I'm just thinking like, okay, if I'm not to this Uber driver in 5 minutes, they're going to cancel my ride. This next driver is going to cancel my ride. I'm trying to get out of the train station It's all kind of construction. Canal Street is now shut down, or has it been shut down? I didn't know much about that. I get outside, and my driver was scheduled to pick me up at Canal and Adams. So I'm like, oh, okay, I go to the right. I come out of the train station. I'm running to Canal and Adams, and it's freezing. When I say freezing, and all I have is my coat, I don't even have gloves. I have on my slap, which is not really a winter hat, but it's, it's covering my head. And you can just see me running in, not even boots. I'm running in tennis shoes down the sidewalk, and all I can think is, Lord, do not let me fall, because I'm going to be on someone's TikTok tonight. Do not let me fall, just please. So I'm running out along Canal, and then I turn right to get on Adams, because I see my Uber driver that I now have and I'm assigned to is pulling up. So I said, okay, I got to get there. It's a long line of people waiting for their Uber or their share ride to pick them up. And I see this car that looks like my Uber driver's vehicle. So I look, I said, okay, the front plate is covered in snow. So that doesn't help me. So I run to the back of the car, and I said, oh yes, this is my driver. He doesn't stop. I'm just like, hello, hi. And he looking like, hey. And I said, oh no, you're my driver. And he looked, and he said, and he rolled down the window. He said, what's your name? And I said, oh, I'm Ronnika. And he said, oh yeah, okay, jump in. He hadn't dropped off the other person that was in his car yet. So I literally opened the door. It's somebody in the back, bags all over the place. I'm like, forget it. It's snowing. He had accepted my ride, but didn't drop off the other person first, who was getting dropped off at the train station. So I hopped in with them. Like, I'm not finna wait until you get to the next corner and drop my mans off. I'm not. I'm getting in with both of y'all. I'm getting in. So my driver for that afternoon was Rodrigo. And Rodrigo was a ball of fun. When I tell you it was a ball of fun. When I got in, I was texting Chantel, who lives in Chicago, and I'm texting her. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm on my way there. I caught an Uber, and I'm coming to this address. And she was like, girl, that's not my address. Huh? What you mean? She was like, that's the address from the last time I lived in Chicago. That's not the recent one. So I'm telling Rodrigo, I said, this where we going is not the right address. He said, okay, I mean, you could change it. He said, I'm gonna just pull over. So she sends me the address, and I said, the fact that I don't even know my best friend's address. He said, I'm sure she probably gave it to you, but you were just kind of moving and shaking that you didn't realize that was a new address. I said, yeah, just whatever you can do to make me feel better, Rodrigo. You do it. You do it. We're riding along, and he's telling me about the last person that was in his car, the person that I literally almost sat on their lap, getting in the back seat. He was telling me about this young person that was starting a brand and how their brand was going to be in some stores in downtown Chicago. And instantly I said, oh, tell me more, because now I'm inspired. I'm inspired by this young person that is 28 or 29 years old, that is out here getting to it, that is out here designing logos and just really putting themselves out there to build a legacy for themselves. Because myself, I'm in that same, I would say I'm in that same season of my life. It's just that I'm identifying, like, what does legacy look like, and how do I want to establish it and move forward, and really pushing forward that, like, okay, this is what I really want to do. So Rodrigo is telling me all this. And then we were getting probably close to Chantel's house, and Rodrigo's song comes on, and he starts singing in Spanish, and I'm just like, I'm in the back seat. If you follow me on social media, then you probably see me in my green coat with my slap on in the back seat, just dancing to Rodrigo. singing because I just thought it was the cutest thing. And it was also when his song finally went off, because he said, man, I can't wait to get off. Even though he's his own boss driving Uber, he said, man, I can't wait to get off and just like really drink and have fun. And I thought, I am just a co-star in his life for this moment, like just for this episode of his life. Like he probably, I mean, we exchanged a couple of pleasantries about like comedy and legacy and what we just love about this season. But it was more so he was just being himself, and I was embracing it and I was loving it. And I knew that was just the beginning of what was going to be an amazing weekend, right? So I get dropped off to Chantel's house. She's still in the meeting. I'm over on the couch, like giggling, watching TV. I was saying like, girl, we need to watch our our guilty pleasures. Like Raising Kanan had a new episode. Like we need to watch this, girl, before the other two girls show up, because they was going to be caught up. We do all that. We're constantly watching the weather, because now they're saying like, oh, this winter storm is coming in, and like flights were being canceled left and right. We're literally on pins and needles. Like this weekend is like, for us more than anything, for the two of us, for Chantel and myself, we were depending on this weekend. Even if I didn't get my Retracing Their Steps exhibit photos done, we were really focused on this weekend, all four of the heartbeats being in Chicago celebrating. We get the notification that Demita has arrived, and we're like, okay, now we got 75% of the heartbeats is in the house. Like, let's go, right? And then we knew that Alicia would be arriving maybe after 9 p.m. later on that night. So, of course, we're like stalking the flights. Chantel said, like, it seemed like every 5 minutes I was refreshing to make sure that it was still on time. I went downstairs. Chantel had requested like, hey, what do you want for dinner? I'll make you something before we even go to the hotel and check in, before this weekend really just starts. I'm going to make you a meal. Y'all, I went downstairs and I fell asleep, and they said that they tried to wake me up the first time. I ain't budge, because shout out to Nana Nisi, which is Chantel's mom. She bought a mattress for the downstairs bedroom. And it was like I was sleeping on clouds. I didn't want to be bothered. I didn't want to be bothered. Like, even when Chantel came and woke me up and said, hey, Alicia's on her way, dinner's ready, I was like, girl, leave me be. Like, I haven't been sleeping this whole week. And this, you mean I can hit one button and this mattress is gonna, this mattress moves? Is this a sleep number mattress? Like, what? How can I be down? It was great. So I come upstairs almost in a daze. Don't know what's really going on, because I'm just like, man, that was some of the best. I don't even know how long I would sleep down there, but it was great. It was great. Come upstairs, I eat. I end up on the couch, and then finally Alicia arrives. Chantel then decides to get packed for the weekend, and we're picking out outfits and everything. And then we get in Chantel's car. We leave her husband with her children. Shout out to me. Thank you for just holding us down that weekend. We get in the car, and it was complete joy of us giggling all the way to the Westin and River North. And we just knew that it was going to be a great weekend, right? So we pull up midnight, checking in. We get in the room, and Demita says, okay, so what we doing now? My shoes are off. Alicia just got off her flight. She like, oh, we going somewhere? By this time, the storm has come. The storm has arrived, y'all. And you mean to tell me that we finna be strutting down these streets to a bar when we could just hang out all day tomorrow like the plan was? So we just and then then on top of that, Chantel has her GPS and then she's listening to the bellhop from the hotel that we didn't take the shortcut to this bar. We went all the way around. That Alicia and I had peeped. Like, oh, did we just take the long way to this bar when we could have just cut right across this grass area right here and got to that bar? Okay. We get there. It's plenty of characters in there. Mind you, we're sober and everyone in the bar was drunk. So you can just imagine our irritation, right? We sit down, we order 2 baskets of fries, curly and straight. And we had just drinks and conversation, and we giggled. And the question from them to me was, what are you looking forward to this year, turning 40? And I said, not seeking validation from anyone. I don't think I've ever been able to like fully embrace that or fully own that or even admit that not seeking validation from anyone. And that's the difference between walking and living in your purpose versus always around the corner looking like, am I doing things right? Am I doing this right? Am I saying this right? Am I doing this right? No, it's God gave me this vision. I have great friendships, mentors, family members in my life to guide me. I have the word. I have scripture. And being completely confident for the first time in my life, being able to say like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So we get through that. Not get through that like it's a bad thing. So we decided like, oh, we're going to go to brunch the next day. And me and Alicia over here like, okay, this sounds like a lot of outfit changes and we didn't pack all those outfits. So we're just going to rock with it. Like there's no, for a lot of people when they think like, oh, you're going out for your birthday, you have to have this outfit. No, child, we at this point, we're like, listen, I'm just showing up because I love my friends and they want to celebrate me. Ain't no, okay, I got to be all dolled up or anything. Nope. We don't even rock like that. We showed up to brunch in sweats because it was really all about being together. And so we went to Kitchen and Cocktails in Chicago. That was my first time ever going to any of them. I know that they're in Dallas and DC, but this was my first time ever being to any of them. And our waiter, whose name was Sharon, he was like, oh, what are we celebrating? I was like, oh, my 40th birthday. He looked like, girl, what? He said, okay. He said, well, you know what I love? I just love how our sisters just continue to show up and just be vibrant and just don't look like they age at all. And then I ordered, because I was like, you know what? Sharon is like speaking to me, so I'm just going to live it up. I'm going to get these lamb chops. Child, I got them lamb chops and they were jerk and I thought I was going to die. It was so hot. It was so hot and spicy that I really couldn't enjoy. I enjoyed the atmosphere. I enjoyed just being with my girls, but we did have to change my food over order. And my friends were just saying like, I'm a little worried about, because now that they're watching like, okay, she's not looking too good. Is she okay? We're just going to go back to the room and chill. The first thing I did was when I got back to the room, I undressed, I got into bed. I probably slept for about an hour. Then I woke up, we played some games. And one of the games, which I just absolutely loved, it was an app. Like basically, how do you know your best friends? And one of the questions was, what do you look for, or what is the most valuable thing that you look for in a friend? And Demita said, before the answer was real, she said, Ronnika, because the answers were, I think it was humor, loyalty, and I forgot what the other two were. And she said, Ronnika always brings the humor. She's looking for loyalty. And I said, somebody been my friend since first grade. Somebody's been my friend since first grade. Somebody knows me. Because I've always been that friend that showed up like, listen, we're going to have a good time. I'm going to hit you with a culture reference, but we gonna be laughing. I don't care if it's a funeral or anything. I'm going to find some humor somewhere in there that we're going to get a good chuckle. So I'm always looking for loyalty. Because that's what I provide. I'm going to show up for my friends. I'm going to be there when I can. I'm going to tell you when I can't be there. But I provide the humor and the loyalty, so I'm looking for the same thing in my friends. So I go back to sleep, and then I said, oh, you know what? I'm just going to take one little quick nap before we get out for this evening, because our first reservation was at 8 o'clock. I woke up and felt like I had been run over by a dump truck. It was real bad. I mean, I woke up like in a daze and weak. And I just said, my God, what? Did some virus like set in? I don't know what happened. Demita looks right at me and says, are you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm okay. She was like, you don't look okay. You sure? I said, yeah, I'm going to push through. We get to the first place, which when we walked in, I said, I've been here before. And which I had. It was a great Mexican restaurant that I had actually been to with Dr. Renee, and which is one of my homies from Periscope, before we were able to do Facebook Live. And we get in there, and the first thing I said, oh, I need a Caesar salad. I need some type of rubbish to make me feel better. And I can feel my friends looking at me like, watching every bite, like, okay, she's not okay. She's not okay. And the last thing I wanted to do for these ladies that were literally fighting through a storm to get to me, to celebrate me, was to say, let's go back to the hotel because I don't feel all right. So they say, hey, if you can't eat your whole taco, at least eat the meat out of there. Like, eat some type of protein, something. Like, we need you to feel better. And with every bite, I would just drop my head and just chew and just pray like, Lord, just let me get through this night, Lord. I want to be able to celebrate my birthday with my friends. Like, please, Lord, just let me get through this. And this was only the first stop of the night. So I'm chewing to the point that it's like hurting to chew. Like, I don't know what was going on. It was hurting to chew. And all of a sudden I started to feel better. I'm like, I'm downing the water. And Demita says, are you okay? Like, can we, you okay to go to the next spot? I say, yeah, let's go. Let's go. We get in the Uber. We ride to the next spot. And it was like all of a sudden just this burst of energy comes over me. And I'm just like, thank you, God. Like, I want to enjoy this night with my girls. And I don't want them to feel like they went through all of this to get to me. And I'm going to be like, oh yeah, let's just forget about it because I don't feel good. We went to this place called the Blind Barber, which is a speakeasy. Okay. And I've always wanted to experience a speakeasy. So it's the front of it is a barbershop, and then the back of it is a total party. And we get in, we're walking in, 4 fly girls, as I should say, 4 cute fly girls. Because, the Harbies, if you've seen them online, we cute. We real cute. Okay. We real cute. And we get in there, and the lady that, the young lady that's the host, she said, hey, did you all get a table? And we said, oh, no. She said, oh, no, I got y'all. If y'all want to just step over to the side, I got y'all. So we had like, Mind you, we ain't pay for nothing. We're over here with like full VIP, getting it. Like, oh, okay, it's my birthday. Couches, everything. And man, all I thought was in that corner was, this is me turning 40. This is great. I'm with my best friends. We are in the city. And we are really just living it up. So we decide, okay, so, you know, my girls are planners. Two of my girls are really planners. And so they already put the reservations in. They said, oh, we have to leave this spot and then we have to go to the next one. I'm like, gosh, it's more. Like, it's almost midnight. I'm going to turn into a pumpkin. There's more to do. We get outside and we tell Chantel, we said, before we get outside, because it is about -5 degrees outside. Before we get out there, girl, you need to know which direction we're walking in. Okay, yeah, I know. Y'all, we get outside to the corner. Chantel was like, turn right. And we looking like, what we turning right towards? What's to the right? And she said, okay, turn left. Demeter said, so you mean to tell me you ain't know which direction we was going in before we go outside and you told? So, you know, it was all of that. And Chantel said, sorry, I meant the GPS said go this way. So it was a screaming match outside in the dead of winter. Like, we were literally like fighting snowflakes, like, oh, just get us to the next spot. We get to the next spot, which is the Avery, and that was a whole vibe. First of all, we didn't know how to get in there. We opened some door and there's just this huge curtain that looks like the curtain if you're going on stage somewhere. So we're like fighting through the curtain, like, is this the Avery? They're like, oh yeah, you're in the right spot. There's no sign or anything. We go in and it's like this lush place. It was comfortable seating, couches, the kitchen was open, and we were just looking like, what is this place? And Chantel said, oh no, they're known for their drinks. They like have a Michelin star of like 4.5 for their drinks. Like, they're really known for their drinks. And when I say, it was a whole experience. They were telling us like how you drink. Okay. Now let me say this, because this can kind of tie in if I was really doing a at the playground story, is that growing up, 3 doors down from my grandmother's house was a store called Seven Sisters. And Seven Sisters in Ben Harbor on Main Street, my cousin is actually the son. Two of my cousins are actually the children of one of those 7 sisters. So these are basically like family. This is my mom's brother's family. And the grandmother's house that I was at was my dad's mom. So every day that I was at that house, there was a big thing to do your chores or just do something in order to get enough money to walk down to Seven Sisters to get your annihilators, your penny candy, your quarter bags of chips, your quarter juices, and your little Debbie cakes. And I would say for the last at least 30 years, I've been looking for the taste of a cherry cola annihilator. Now, when annihilator started to bring like the orange flavor back, the banana flavor, I was just like, man, they got to be bringing back like root beer and the cherry cola, like they just have to, but they never did. And the cherry cola annihilators were the cherry on one side and then the cola on the other. And it was almost like a party in your mouth. And then you think about the ices, like if you get from like Burger King or anything like that, if you get it mixed with cherry and cola, that's what a cherry cola annihilator tastes like. So I ordered this drink and she brings it out to me and it's like layered. And I'm looking at it like, okay, this looks good. Y'all, I took one swig of that drink and it was like being in childhood again. I said to her, I said, wait a minute. is this the recipe for the cherry cola now later? And not, mind you, the young lady that was our waitress, she was much younger than us, but she was just like, I can't really identify, but maybe that's kind of what it tastes like, because I don't really know. But I said, I've been searching for this taste, for this experience, for over 3 decades. And you mean to tell me it's coming to me in this glass right now? Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. So we were talking about just talking about our experiences and just like really excited about me turning a year older, because I am the first one in my friend group to turn 40. So we wrap up the night and we get back into the Uber and we go back to the hotel and we snooze for the night. And Demita, all she kept thinking was like, okay, I know that I have a 6:00 flight in the morning, so I might as well just stay up. Me not, sleeping very well lately anyway. I hear Demita getting herself together at like 4 something in the morning. So when she's leaving, I pop up and I give her a hug and just thank her for because I know it was her and Alicia's idea really for all of us to be together for my birthday. So Demita is the planner, the ultimate planner. She's been like this all of our life, the ultimate planner of our group. And I couldn't let her leave that hotel, not knowing if she was coming back, because the weather was bad. The weather was real bad. Didn't know if her flight was going to be delayed or canceled or anything, but I knew that if I wasn't going to see her until probably next month, I needed to let her know that I love her and I appreciate her. Just like I love and appreciate all of my friends. But this weekend was one of those weekends where I could be selfish, and not selfish in a bad way. Like, let's celebrate me. I'm not the one that's always like, okay, I'm usually the one that shows up, because I know that last year I didn't celebrate my birthday. I was in bed all day, depressed, because I didn't know what 2023 was going to look like for me. It was looking real, just uncertain. I didn't know. I did not know. And I didn't know if I was going to make it to Hawaii in February of last year to even celebrate with my sister for winning that trip on The Price is Right in 2022. Like, that was a whole thing. And for my friends to show up in a way and just say, like, you know what, this weather is bad and we just want to get there for you. That was our whole prayer, was we want to all make it to Chicago safely. Not once did we pray about getting out safely. Not once. And I'll tell you about that. It's coming. But not once did we like, oh, okay, Lord, let's make sure that we all get out, get back home safely. We were so worried about just being together that we didn't want to say like, okay, Lord, well, we want to make sure that we make it out safely. We didn't even think about that. So Demita gets to the airport. She's texting us. She was like, y'all, my flight is delayed. Demita had to get back to Dallas because her guy baby was getting christened. So she had to be there. But that flight, child, got delayed a couple times and she didn't make it. She was a little late. But she was just like, Lord, I should have just stayed with y'all because I ain't make it out on time. So, my friends knowing me, we slept in a little bit. We literally walked out of that hotel room, I think at 11:55 a.m. and checkout was at noon. We took full advantage of that room. We enjoyed our time together. Alicia says, I really think that you should just have some pho and PHO, which we've been pronouncing it as pho for a long time, but it's really pho. We get into Bodega in Chicago, and I get this text that says, your train has been canceled for this evening. You can reschedule. I said, wait a minute. It is 1:00, and you mean to tell me that my 6:30 train is canceled? So, my jaws was a little tight. I was just trying to figure out, okay, what am I doing? Lord have mercy. I couldn't wrap my mind around not being able to go home that evening. Chantel's like, oh, we got the bed that you was, chillaxing in. It's fine. You could just leave in the morning. Then, if not, then I can just take you. And I'm thinking, like, if the train is canceled, I know the roads ain't clear. So we just gonna wait this out. And Alicia kept thinking, like, okay, I hope my plane makes it back to Arizona, because this was Sunday night. And so, Monday was the holiday, MLK Day. And then Tuesday, pretty much everybody's going back to work. We drop Alicia off at the airport. Think everything is fine, right? I'm already downstairs, record timing, ready to go to sleep. I roll over in the middle of the night to see a text from Alicia that says, my flight was delayed until 1 a.m. Mind you, her flight was scheduled to leave at 10 p.m. My flight was delayed until 1 p.m. I'm currently at this hotel until... So you mean you ain't left? You mean to tell me you haven't left? She said, yes, I didn't know who was going. I didn't think nobody was going to answer the phone, and I needed to be close to the airport. So, yeah, I'm just ready to I'm just ready to write my tell-all book about how I got to Chicago for your birthday and I couldn't make it out. And all I thought was like, okay, well, she going to make it out Monday. She going to make it out early Monday, and I'm going to make it out Monday evening in order to be back Tuesday, by Tuesday morning. Fast forward a couple more hours. I get this text that says, your train has been canceled. I said, again? You mean to tell me again? Come on, Amtrak. Like, what's... So I called my sister because I know that train that I was taking leaves Grand Rapids every morning, I think around 6 a.m. So I called her. I said, what is this weather looking like in Grand Rapids? Because once again, my train has been canceled. Here she go, my sister. That train is never canceled. I said, ma'am, it just canceled for me twice in a row. Like before, when I had told her when it was no weather conditions a couple months ago, I said, my Amtrak train was canceled. She said, what? That one never canceled. I said, yeah, it said something about an electrical issue, so I'm going to have to take the South Shore. So that's pretty much what I had to do on Monday as well. Alicia had stopped responding to us, and we had understood this completely, because when you were in the thick of it trying to figure out how you finna get home, you ain't trying to respond to nobody, and I understand that because I be feeling the same way. So I decide to get on the South Shore. Thank God one of my friends, Kendall, was already in South Bend, and she said, hey, I can just pick you up from the train station here, and we can just ride back to Michigan together. Great. Perfect. That works. Y'all, first of all, if you've never been in Millennium Station in Chicago, it is completely different from being at the Amtrak station at Union Station. The characters are different. The interactions are different. So in the Amtrak station, it's a little bit more friendlier. There's more to do. There's different levels and everything. But the Millennium Station, it's full of grids. So you have to keep that head on a swivel. You really don't make eye contact with people. You don't say a whole lot, because as soon as you come in, someone is asking you for something. And I don't know about you, I am a woman that her father and her mother has taught her very well about being very aware of your surroundings. And I know if it's not in my pocket to pull out, I'm not reaching down in my purse for nothing. I'm just not. I'm not going to do it. Like, I'm not. And so I'm waiting because now I realize I get to the train station on time, where I think is on time. Chantel drops me off, and I call her back and I said, "Girl, they're running on." I said, "They're running on holiday time, so this isn't even the right schedule that you drop me off at. This train isn't leaving for another hour." She was like, "What? Do you need me to come back and get you?" I said, "No, I'll be all right. I'm gonna just chill out here. I'm gonna just stand up and I'm gonna be cool." So I'm checking my phone. I'm trying to see where Alicia is because this is the next day. She's trying to get back home. I hear someone yelling, "Ma'am, the train!" I'm like, whoever this is isn't talking to me. Like, I don't know anybody here. Like, no one's talking to me. "Ma'am, your train here." I'm like, still no one. I'm scrolling. Like, no, nobody's talking to me. "Ma'am, the train is leaving." So I put my phone back in my purse and I was like, okay, let me just go in the direction. I'm probably 25 feet from the door where the train is loading. So I look up and I said, "Oh man, you're talking to me." Okay. I said, "Let me get out there." And I was saying, "Thank you," as the man was opening the door. And he said, "Can I get $1?" And I said, "I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have any change. I don't have $1 for you, but thank you for alarming me about the train and for even opening the door for me." He says, as I get through the door, he says, "And thank you for the nice attitude." He said, "Nice ASS attitude." And kind of startled me, like, what? And he said, "Thank you, that nice attitude that you had. You heard me the first MF time." I said, "Excuse me?" I said, "Oh, you're talking to me?" And he said, you heard me. You heard me saying something to you the first MF time." I said, "I don't know what type of day you're having. I know what type of day I'm having, but I want you to have a great day, sir." Firm, just like that. "I want you to have a nice day." He's still cussing. He's still going off. "And you want me to have a nice MF day?" And I just said, "Okay, all right." So I walk off to the train. I see the conductor. And I said, if he knew what type of day I've been having, and if I was way back when I wasn't even in my right mind, we would have been over there tussling by that table, like not even thinking about what he had in his pocket. He could have had a number of things in his pocket to defend himself. But that was a test for me that even during my frustration was to still be nice. Even though that man, cause now I can't say he didn't call me no B word. Cause I feel like if he would have called me out of my name, it would have been plenty of people out there ready to defend me. But that in that moment, it was just like, that was a distraction of like, you are one step closer to being at home. Do not mess this up. After your train has been canceled twice, your Amtrak train has been canceled 2 days in a row, and you got to hop on this South Shore to South Bend, Indiana. So we're rolling on the train. I'm like, yes, I'm going to be home pretty soon. Then we get this over the loudspeaker that says, all passengers will be exiting at East Chicago because you will be hopping on. Where we going now? What you mean? What do you mean? There will be a charter bus waiting to pick you up, and then that will take you to your next destination of Michigan City or South Bend, Indiana. The first bus pulls up. Fool. I'm just standing out there like, is there another bus coming to pick us up? Is because it was everybody got off of the train. So how are we getting to the back to how are we getting to our destination? We get on the bus and we're rolling on down. We go through Gary and everything, and it's just like all kind of characters. And I was sitting next to this lady that all I could do was just kind of chuckle about what the heck was going on. So we finally go through all of our different stops, and and the bus stops, and he said, oh, we're in Dunes Lake and you're going to get back on the train, and then this is how you're going to get to Michigan City and South Bend. I said, okay, all right, Lord. I mean, thank God for my portable charger, because I was on 10% at this particular point. Get off, and Kendall is there to pick me up, and she says to me, I don't know if my parents was punking me or not, because my mom's front wheel alignment is off and I can't go over a certain. I said, what? She said, girl, we gonna have to take the back roads back home. The back roads that aren't clear? I could just see with every twist and turn that we took, once we got from the Niles Buchanan exit all the way back into the harbor, Kendall's shoulders was just tense. She was driving like this. Like, she's hearing every story that I have for her from the weekend, and even me being cussed out by that man at the train station. But she is focused on us getting back home safely. And she said, boy, is my parents gonna hear from me about this front wheel alignment. And I just thought, I'm just thankful that you were even around to pick me up, because I don't know who else was gonna pick me up in this weather. You were just already there for an appointment, for a doctor's appointment, and thank God. But them shoulders was tight, and I was trying to play calm on the passenger side, because I said, oh my God, I can feel it rattling up under us. I can feel it. And so she drops me off, and when I tell you that snow was coming down, the streets were covered in ice, and there were pictures that I saw of I-94 being shut down, and it was just scary. It was really scary, but I just felt like we were enjoying each other's company, but we were also praying all the way in, like, Lord, let us get us there. Lord, let us get there. Lord, let us get there. She drops me off, and my first thing my mom says is, did Alicia make it out okay? Alicia finally took off and made it home, I think 9 o'clock her time, which was probably 11 o'clock Michigan time. All of that in the spirit of my 40th birthday. So when I even think about like stress in the new year, and just us really talking about like, hey, what do we really want to happen this year? And my whole thing was like, I want to be with my girls to celebrate my birthday. I know that February 1st is going to come up in a blink of an eye. I'm going to be on this train of retracing their steps and talking about it in the Kickstarter campaign, which be looking out for that, because I'm going to be asking y'all how you want to contribute to this Kickstarter campaign. And all I kept thinking was like, man, we're together for my birthday and ain't nobody getting back home on time. But with all the things that we have going on in our lives, work, family, trying to really take care of ourselves, and me more than anything last year, listening to what the doctor's telling me, like, oh, get your weight down, get your stressors down, eliminate certain things, and me being mindful of people in my life that are causing me more harm than good. But this past weekend was a reminder of like, I have some absolutely beautiful souls in my life. Sunday, after I found out my train was canceled, our good friend and brother Sean Carter comes over, and we literally laughed nonstop for hours. Sean is a person that's been in my life since junior high school. We share I'm I'm going to say the coveted title of clown of the class of 2002 of Ben Harbor High School. And he didn't disappoint Sunday. He came in ready with costumes and inflatable champagne bottles for my birthday. And we had story time, and it was absolutely beautiful. If I can ask for, like, if you I'm telling you, you've been a homie. Even after this episode, you are solidified as a homie. That I love story time. And when my friends show up to me and provide me with nonstop stories, you've got me for hours. Like, I'm not even sleeping anymore. I'm not feeling weak anymore as I'm over here like eating the fuss, so I can just feel stronger and better, so I can just continue to enjoy my friends. That story time was a gift in itself. Like, I don't need any gift cards. I don't need any gifts. I don't need money or anything. I just need to be around good people. And that's what this past weekend was. So if I can say that bringing down the stressors in my life is being around genuine friends, that's the gift enough. So you all, that was how I brought in this week of my birthday. And I wanted to really wear this shirt today because on February 1st is going to be the launch of Retracing Their Steps, the digital exhibit. And the physical exhibit will be September 5th of this year, which will be which would have been my father's 75th birthday. So it's going to be all diamond themed, everything. And that's going to be in Ben Harbor, Michigan. And I'm really excited about that. But last year was really about breaking the chains of generational curses in my family, in my life. And this year is telling you all about how I did it, okay? So be looking out for the Kickstarter campaign that will be so you can really engage and be a part of this journey when it comes to my ancestry story, to even figure out if you want to tell your own. And I've really been getting some beautiful tributes from people even today saying like, hey, I want to do my own ancestry journey. I want to be able to tell my own story. I want to be able to leave this legacy for my family. And I'm here and happy to help you do that. So I want you to be able to be a part of mine, so you'll just kind of get an idea of what it looks like and how you can do one too. So again, this is just the beginning of a beautiful year. My mom texted me this morning and said, it is such a blessing to be your mother. And every day that I wake up, I am charged with carrying on the legacy that she has blessed me with. Like, she chose my daddy. Like, I know my daddy chose her, but she chose my daddy. Like, she had to choose him back. And just the family that I have been born into and the stories that have come out of it. So I thank you. And I thank you for those of you that have locked arms with me and my sister, because this is really our story together. And my brother that has been cheering me on, my mother that has been praying and sending me scriptures, sending me messages, and especially this week last 2 weeks, which the messages with Pastor Paul out of, I think it's Fresno, California, which, girl, we going to see Pastor Paul this year. Okay. So Mom, don't even flinch and say like, I'm not getting on no plane. Yes, you are. We going to see Pastor Paul this year because he has truly blessed this ministry that is Retracing Their Steps. So I am your homegirl, Ronnika. This concludes this story time on Please Do Tell podcast, which is really me celebrating my 40th birthday, and to hear how my friends have decided to make sure that their girl is living a healthier, happier year from 2023. So I will see you in the next installment of this podcast. But until then, I am your homie, and let's just keep telling those stories to make our lives a little bit brighter. We'll see you next time.